is all about giving and taking. Usually the rule goes that if you want a reward, you have to put in some effort to earn it first. Need some money from your parents? Do your chores first. Looking for a promotion at work? Prove to the boss that you have what it takes. Want to buy some illegal fireworks and set them off in your neighbour's garden? Don't do that. It's usually the same with video games. You play the game, you do the tasks, you get the rewards. On rare occasions though, a game will cut you some slack and give you something for doing absolutely nothing. Here are 7 of those moments when a game rewarded your total inactivity. Enjoy and beware spoilers for the following games.
I beg of you, grant me the strength to take this final prey.
The End is, rather confusingly, the name of a boss in Metal Gear Solid 3 who doesn't actually appear at the end of the game. He's a sniper who is more than 100 years old, but unlike most 100-year-olds, he spends his time trying to put a tranquilizer dart in Naked Snake.
I've got a present for you.
Fighting the End the proper way can be quite a complex affair, as many things in the Metal Gear Solid games are. The battle takes place in a large jungle where the End is hiding with his rifle. If you don't find and kill him in time, he'll shoot you with a dart, and if you don't remove it, you'll eventually pass out and be sent back to a prison from earlier in the game, to start that bit over again, but more embarrassed this time.
Reckless boy. You don't deserve to meet your fate just yet.
There's also a whole other optional strategy involving the End's pet parrot, who helps to track you down. If you kill the parrot, it's harder for the End to find you, but it also makes him angrier.
My parrot is dead. What have you done?
The whole thing is a massive pain in the rump, and I don't just mean getting hit in the rump with a tranquilizer dart. Luckily, there's another way to beat the End, although it does require some patience. All you have to do is save your game during the boss fight, then turn off your console. Then, don't play Metal Gear Solid 3 for over a week. Once at least 8 days have passed, when you next load up the game, you'll discover that time has finally caught up with the End, who has died of old age.
Drop your weapon!
Which brings up the age-old question. If the End dies in the woods and no one's around to hear it, does he make a sound? Yes, he does, and it sounds like this.
Well, go on, take the bloody bag off his head.
Again, terribly sorry for what happened before. This is more what I had in mind. So, fresh start. Introductions. Ajay Gale, our guest of honor. Paul, our very gracious host. The little monkey, whose name I still don't know. And I, of course, am Pagan Min.
For my money, Far Cry 4 is the best game in the series. Not least because for the time-poor player, you can unlock a happy ending to the game in less than 20 minutes by doing absolutely nothing. What a savings! As the game starts, you're captured by Pagan Min, the twisted autocrat who rules the Kingdom of Kyrat, where you've come to scatter your mother's ashes.
I'm so sorry about this. This was supposed to be... well, not this.
After Min kidnaps you and your friend Darpan, you're taken to, honestly, a pretty great-looking dinner. It's all going fine until your mate gets stuck with a fork and dragged away to be tortured. Unlucky.
Find out what he knows.
Your host Pagan Min then leaves and asks you not to go anywhere.
Please, stay right here. Enjoy the crab rangoon. Don't move. I will be right back.
This is usually video game speak for now it is time for you to try to escape, which assertive players will take as their cue to kick off the action of the rest of the game. Laid-back players who enjoy Crab Rangoon, on the other hand, will sit tight and do nothing and be rewarded for their passivity when Pagan Min eventually returns.
The Crab Rangoon, right? It's... fabulous. Well, come on, let's go.
As a treat for your cooperation, Min flies you to your dead sister's grave, where he shares that he was her father and your dad was kind of a jerk, thus revealing the game's major plot twist with zero effort on your part. Then, with your mother's ashes reverently placed, the credits can roll less than 20 minutes after the game started. While we do love that it's technically possible to reach the end of Far Cry 4 by pressing a single button, we do feel for the obedient players out there who really did think you were supposed to wait for Min and wondered why the game was so short. It's also quite hard to accept that this is a good ending when literally 10 minutes ago your mate was sent away to be tortured to death. But still, free helicopter ride?
In music-themed social sim Harvest Moon Magical Melody, the Harvest Goddess has turned herself to stone because she's pissed off at the townspeople who were meant to be worshipping her. Honestly, it's the kind of supernatural pettiness I aspire to. It falls to you, a hard-working farmer, to awaken the Harvest Goddess, alongside all the exhausting labour of setting up and running a farm, mining, fishing, and engaging in social simulation. To revive the stony Harvest Goddess, you have to collect 50 out of 100 available musical notes, which are awarded for performing different tasks. Is a lot of musical notes to acquire, but at the very least, one of these notes is unexpectedly right at your farming fingertips. To unlock the stationary note, all you have to do is stand still and not touch the controller for 1 minute, and that minute is yours to do with as you wish. Set down the controller, do some gentle stretches, call your mother. Not for very long, but she'll understand. After a moment of doing absolutely nothing, you're awarded the stationary note, and you're 1/50th closer to awakening the Harvest Goddess. If she asks, tell her you got it for praying for 24 hours straight. She's never gonna check.
Tears of the Kingdom has so many side quests that it can sometimes get a bit overwhelming. Thankfully, there are a couple in there that, if you do them properly, require zero skill at all, and only ask for a bit of your patience. And if you don't have any of that either, then I don't know what to tell you. Over at the peak of Mount Grenage, you'll find a chap called Rado who has a challenge for you, the Cold Endurance Contest.
You!
Both of you will bet 50 rupees and climb a big pillar at 8:30 PM. Whoever can last through the night without freezing to death will win all the money. The only rules are that you have to stay out all night and have to wear the least clothing possible. Easy enough if you're used to having a big night out in Newcastle, but this is the clean-cut baby-faced Link we're talking about here. He's never seen the inside of Cosmic Ballroom. This would be more of a challenge were it not for the fact that the rules don't say anything about chugging down some warming grub right before you start, nor about holding weapons. See, if you equip a weapon that's fused with a ruby, you get complete protection from the cold, meaning that you can just stand there like an absolute Geordie legend without a coat. And so you stand there, all night, over 8 real-life minutes, doing absolutely zilch. Then, around 4 AM Hyrule time, just as you get back from the bathroom, Rado collapses from the cold and you win what is, let's face it, a pretty small amount of cash. But after being humiliated by his own bet, Rado then challenges you to the opposite, a heat endurance contest. And this time, there are 300 rupees up for grabs. Surely he's got you now. How could you possibly survive that scorching sun for so long? Oh wait, by doing the exact same thing. This time, you can chug down some cooling cuisine or simply equip a weapon fused with a sapphire. Once again, its ice energy will protect you from overheating, meaning that you can just stand there for another 8 real-life minutes doing absolutely nothing until you win. It's like my grandmother always used to say, if you can't stand the heat, either get out of the kitchen or equip a weapon fused with a sapphire. Grandma was weird.
You will find Eric Sodas in the operating theatre, undergoing a pre-surgery regenerative stem cell treatment. A highly controversial procedure, yet to be approved by Japanese authorities.
One of the best things about Hitman is that so many of its assassination missions can be carried out in a variety of ways. You can shoot someone loudly in the face in public, wait until they're in a secluded place and kill them quietly, or replace the insulation in their office with asbestos and wait 30 years for it to poison them. Okay, maybe not that last one. The 2016 reboot had a mission called No Hard Feelings, where you have to take out one of the main bad guys, Eric Sodas. The thing is, Sodas is already a bit poorly as it is, and is already lying in a heavily guarded operating theatre awaiting a heart transplant.
Look, there he is. He's in a machine that looks like a dead spider.
There are a bunch of ways to kill Sodas. You can find his replacement heart in another room and destroy it, meaning the transplant can't take place.
Wow, okay. We'll just f*** it into a bin, 47. That works.
Or you can pass information to the surgeon that Sodas killed his father, which makes the surgeon kill Sodas as revenge.
This is for my father.
You can even sabotage the robotic arm on the operating table and make it all stabby.
Oh, the dead robot spider machine is going mad. Oh, wow. Wow, that's messy. Oh, gosh.
Look, I'm not judging you. You do it whatever way makes you feel most comfortable with killing a defenseless old man. The method that requires the least work during the kill itself, however, is to dress up in your classic Agent 47 suit and make your way to the operating theatre.
Hello, Mr. Reaper.
Obviously, getting there without being spotted is difficult, but once you're in the room, you simply have to walk over to Sodas. He'll see you, realise you're there to kill him, and promptly die of a heart attack. You'd think such an important enemy would put up more of a fight, but I guess his heart just wasn't in it. Sorry.
Patient unresponsive. Patient deceased.
Special stages in Sonic games have always had their ups and downs. Literally, because you know it's a platformer. Some, like that annoying one with all the balls in Sonic 3, can be chucked into a big burny fire, while others aren't just fun, they're downright useful. That half-pipe special stage in Sonic 2, for example, gave us definitive confirmation that even though Tails has 2 tails, he only has 1 bum. Inquiring minds wanted to know. Of course, it all began with the special stage in Sonic 1, that bizarrely psychedelic area where the player has to guide a constantly spinning Sonic through a bunch of eye-meltingly kaleidoscopic mazes. Even even if you've been playing Sonic games for decades, these special stages can still catch you out from time to time, thanks to their pinball-style bumper balls and the exit areas which can instantly boot you out of the stage before you can collect the Chaos Emerald. Do you know then that you can make your way through most of the first special stage without even touching the controller? In fact, if you sit there without pressing a single button, gravity will take over and guide Sonic through the stage, right up to the final section where the Chaos Emerald is surrounded by gems. Then all you have to do is move a little bit to hug the gems, make them disappear, and job done. You've got the first Chaos Emerald by letting the game do 95% of the work for you. A similar trick also works with Sonic 2006. If you sit there on the title screen and don't press any buttons, you can actually have more fun with it.
Alright, listen. Don't forget to come back for me.
As long as you're not dead, Fred.
It's Frank. Frank West. Remember that name, because the whole world's gonna know it in 3 days, when I get the scoop.
Alright.
Dead Rising was a revelation when it was first released in 2006. By jamming endless zombies into a shopping mall, Capcom did an incredible job of showing off the capabilities of the Xbox 360. But what if you wanted to completely ruin the entire point of the game and choose not to encounter a single zombie at all? Turns out, you can do that, and you can even reach one of the game's endings without doing anything. At the very start of the game, Frank is dropped onto the roof of the Willamette Mall. He's supposed to enter a door here and head down into the mall itself. Then, after Frank teams up with some other survivors who failed to set up a barrier, the zombies make their way into the mall and the game properly starts.
Everyone, move this way! Quick, to the stairs! Move!
However, the entire game is set to a 3-day timer, which works out to about 8 hours in real time, and the helicopter is supposed to come and pick Frank up after the time runs out. The idea is that you're supposed to go into the mall, spend 3 days rescuing as many people as you can and completing as many tasks as possible, then head back up to the roof and get to the chopper in time. Instead, you can just stay on the roof for the entire 8 hours, doing literally nothing at all. Then, when the helicopter lands, you'll get Ending B, which isn't the best in the game, but incredibly, also isn't the worst.
Well, I'm glad you're out meeting new people. But just who the hell is this? A survivor?
That's right, a survivor. Pulled right out of the depths of hell.
Hell, huh? Just what was going on down there anyway?
You get the B ending if you don't manage to complete all the tasks, but you do manage to reach the helicopter in time, which, yeah, sure, that checks out, I suppose. This one does feel a bit more like a case of just because you could doesn't mean you should, because even though you can technically beat the game without playing it, it's a pretty boring way of doing it. Besides, if you're the sort of person who will just sit staring at a screen for 8 hours without doing anything at all, maybe you're the real zombie all along.
Oh my god!
Makes you think. You want me to do it for you then? Look, video up there, like, subscribe, Patreon. Thanks.